Hey, thanks for making it to Veterans Info Tap. I'm glad you made it. Elon Musk's Aide is now working at the VA and accessing its computer systems. Found this on military.com. There's also another one on Military Times. I'll probably share that as well. I just wanted to read through this with you. Before we jump into it, I do want to throw on a special thank you to Willard Mosley. Willard, thank you so much for the super comment, super chat. I really do appreciate it so very much. And with that, let's jump into this. Hit the thumbs up for me, subscribe, share with a friend, all that good stuff. I truly appreciate it. Every thumbs up and every minute watched helps to share this information. One, more folks will be aware. Two, people will see that we are aware of what's going on simply by the number of people watching and viewing this type of content. So I really appreciate it so very much. All right, so let's dive into it here on military.com. This came out February 5th, 2025 in the evening, and I'm sharing it with you here today. So again, Elon Musk's Aide is now working at VA to access or accessing its computer systems. All right, so let's dive into it and see what they have to say. A representative from Elon Musk's Department of Government Efficiency now works at the Department of Veterans Affairs, where they have been given access to contracting systems. The biggest contract that just pops out to me would be the stupid one with Oracle for billions of dollars for that electronic health record system that has just been horrendous over the course of multiple years. So, I mean, that's just the first one. I mean, I'm sure there's some other ones. All right, let's dive into it. Now, they have been given access to contracting systems as well as information on the VA operations and information technology systems. Good. Rumors began circulating Tuesday that DOGE representatives visited the VA on Tuesday, which is the first day that the VA secretary was actually in place after the Senate confirmation on Tuesday the 4th. So rumors began circulating Tuesday that DOGE representatives visited the VA on Tuesday with an intent to mine data on disability compensation and benefits. Again, rumors. Okay, we don't really know. Everybody goes straight to that because it affects them or impacts them in a negative way. So it's always scary, right? So let's see what's going on. But in response to questions from military.com over DOGE activities at the VA, a VA spokesman said the department has a single DOGE employee who is specifically focused on identifying wasteful contracts, improving VA. You know how many contracts the VA probably has? I mean, it's probably mind-blowing. All right, let's move on. Specifically focused on identifying wasteful contracts, improving VA operations, and strengthening management of the department's IT projects. All right, so some Lean Sigma type stuff. All right, let's move on. The DOGE employee will be solely focusing on improving VA performance and efficiency and will not have access to veterans or VA beneficiaries' data. VA Press Secretary Pete. Oh, great. I was so happy to have an easy name with Collins. And then Terrence Hayes was an easy one. But now we have VA Press Secretary Pete Kasperowicz said in an email. I'm just going to probably from now on say Press Secretary Pete. All right, anyway, moving on. Over the weekend, DOGE representatives and billionaire Elon Musk, I don't know why everybody already knows that he's a billionaire, but they like to throw it in there, so here we are. All right, Elon Musk assessed Treasury Department systems that are used to make U.S. government payments and hold the Social Security numbers for nearly every American, including military personnel and veterans. The unfederated access to sensitive personal data has alarmed privacy advocates and cybersecurity experts who question the legality of allowing non-departmental personnel entry into financial information, bank accounts, and more. Senator Richard Blumenthal of Connecticut, the ranking Democrat on the Senate Veterans Affairs Committee, said Tuesday that Musk's access to Treasury Department databases gives him access to information that includes addresses, bank accounts, and disability benefits. Veterans risked their lives to defend this country, and they deserve more than to have unaccountable billionaires playing with the benefits they earned and rely on, Blumenthal wrote in a statement on Monday. Members of Congress on Tuesday began raising concerns that Musk or his representatives at DOGE visited the VA with the intent to access all data from the VA to discern disability ratings and payments to veterans, diagnostic codes for health conditions, and more. Here's the funny thing. Everybody already knows how much money the VA sends out in disability payments. To think that that's some hard thing to figure out is a little bit ridiculous, because it's all out there. 30%, a little less than 30% of veterans receive disability compensation, right? The VA, does an annual basically report on all of this stuff, and they'll roll it out per state. This is how much went out to veterans in this state for disability compensation, for VA pension, for educational benefits. The list goes on. So these are not some sort of hidden number. You don't need to have somebody go into the system to see. In fact, even the percentages that veterans are rated and the age ranges of veterans is all public information on the VA's website if you dig in far enough. All right, so in any case, let's move on. The Veterans Health Administration oversees the medical treatment of veterans, and Veterans Benefits Administration is the VA's compensation arm. Senator Patty Murray issued a press release Wednesday saying she had heard that DOGE may have barged into VA today. Look, this doesn't help, because this type of language makes it sound like they're kicking down the doors and going in and ripping things down. So back to what the VA actually said is there's one employee who is charged with looking at contracts with outside organizations with the VA and seeing if it makes sense or not in ways that they can improve the VA's overall management systems and IT, right? So they're looking for ways to make things work better, faster, smarter. And oh, is that a stupid you got a contract for $17 million for toothpicks, right? Does it still make sense to purchase these toothpicks, right? That type of stuff. Anyway, so to make it sound other than that is, I don't know. There's going to be a lot of political kind of fervor going on. Anyway, there's a quotation here. Musk and his associates already have the personal financial information of every veteran receiving disability or education benefits because of their legal data mining at the Department of Treasury. Will they now look at private health records of veterans? What else will they do that could put the health and safety of our veterans at risk? Murray, the ranking Democrat on the Senate Appropriations Committee, said in a statement. Murray joined 22 other Democrats Tuesday in voting against the nomination of Secretary Doug Collins. Collins won with a vote of 77 to 23, but Murray, a former chairwoman of the Senate Veterans Affairs Committee, said she could not vote for him while President Trump dismantles government and breaks the laws. So, whatever. This is so it's kind of, I hate when it gets political, and here's why. It takes away from the reality, right? You get loud craziness going on, and then we're left with what's really happening. And again, I'm going to dive back into this where I'm leaving off here. However, I think that it's important to really go back to get away from the political fervor of it all. And here it says in a quotation, the DOGE employee, one, will be solely focused on improving VA performance and efficiency, and will not have access to veterans or VA beneficiaries' data, VA Press Secretary Pete said in an email. Again, there's another portion of another quote. The VA spokesperson said the department has a single DOGE employee who is specifically focused on identifying wasteful contracts, improving VA operations, and strengthening management of the department's IT projects. The multi-billion-dollar EHR, which has been a fiasco, right? The probably millions and millions and millions and millions of dollars of contracts out there for who knows what, right? Maybe there's a contract out there for napkins, right? And maybe the napkin provider is raking the VA over the coals. And they're like, you could get napkins for half that price. Why are you spending $17 million on napkins? You could spend whatever, $8 million on napkins. Anyway, so let's dive back into this. It says here, Trump signed an executive order January 20th remarking a small government body that was charged with improving and streamlining federal websites' U.S. digital service into DOGE. Wired reported that DOGE largely is staffed by 19 to 24-year-olds with previous connections to Musk companies, and by Musk's own description, the entity aims to stop what its staff considers wasteful spending. Obviously, DOGE is trying to stop your tax dollars from being stolen for waste and fraud. Musk posted Tuesday on his social media platform X. Musk, the world's richest man, it's funny how they write this stuff, right? Everybody already knows who he is. So anyway, moving on. The world's richest man was a key funder of Trump's election campaign and has been given unprecedented and potentially illegal access to sensitive systems in the federal government, apparently with Trump's okay. Neither Trump nor Musk have the authority to disseminate or to dismantle agencies and funding created by Congress. Musk and his DOGE team already took control of the U.S. Agency for International Development, or USAID, by shutting out workers, freezing funding, and removing leadership, depriving millions of people around the world of sometimes life-saving aid. On Monday, the White House told, and I don't know enough to dig into that, I have no real box to stand on, if you will. So on Monday, the White House told the New York Times that Musk's team access the Treasury Department system is a read-only, meaning they cannot make changes or stop payments themselves, obviously. Alan Butler, executive director and president of the nonprofit advocacy group Electronic Privacy Information Center, told military.com that nonetheless the access is concerning. Quotation here, that is still a massive invasion of privacy, first of all, and still imposes significant ongoing risks, Butler said, because read includes the ability to pull out data. All of this just exponentially increases the odds that this data gets breached, that people's private information is breached, the national security is breached. The VA maintains that DOGE will not have access to veterans' personal data and that the department will help streamline the VA. VA looks forward to working with DOGE to improve services to veterans, their families, caregivers, and survivors, the VA press secretary, Pete, said in his statement. So that concludes it, and this was written by Patricia, Kime, K-I-M-E, over at military.com. Look, it was a big sandwich, right? It was the DOGE has one employee there that's looking at potentially wasteful contracts, IT systems, overall management aspects, and how to kind of make the department run maybe a little more efficiently or smoothly. Then it was filled, big fat sandwich, filled with a bunch of fear. Then it was followed up with another piece that said, look, again, the VA says that the DOGE, one employee, is not going to have access to all your information. And at the end of the day, we are working with this one person to try to figure out some ways to be a little more efficient and fiscally responsible with taxpayer dollars. Anyway, for what it's worth, military.com. Thanks for watching. I appreciate you. Have a great one. And remember, if we don't take care of each other, something went wrong.